Jordan Bonnet wants to know my favorite horror movie. Oh, it's a broad category, that one. Suppose if I chop it up into a few different categories. Suppose, let's say my favorite slasher movie. I'd probably say that's Friday the 13th Part 6, to be honest. Out of all the Jason entries, I find that one to be easily the most fun out of all of them. It's goofy, but not Jason X, Jason Goes to Hell levels of goofy. I think that one's pretty good. Favorite creature feature, I'm probably going to have to go Rogue on that one, which is the Australian killer crocodile movie. Everything about that movie is just so done so well. The lighting is brilliant. It really emphasizes the vastness of the Australian outback. The musical score, particularly in the cave scene near the end of the movie where they're in the crocodile's den, had me on the edge of my seat. Shade watched that one with me, so he can testify to that as well. How old am I? I'm embarrassed to say, I'm actually 30 this year. So I'm an ancient old man now. Outside of horror, what movies do I like? I'll tell you. Well, I mean standard stuff. I like your action movies, your comedy movies. Me and my wife are really into anime as well. I wouldn't say we're otaku level, but we like watch a series every now and then. She's got me watching another one at the moment. It's a romance one she wants to watch called Snow White with Red Hair or something like that. But it's pretty sweet. But as far as main series of anime goes, I'm a huge fan of One Piece. I'm currently going through Bleach as well. But that's probably not what you're asking for. But yeah, just thought I'd throw out there. How did the Puppet Master franchise continue after Curse the Puppet Master? You got me, but when there's money in it, then they'll do what they can. But like I said, with the Puppet Master series, I'm really, I don't want to say bored of it, because it's kind of sacrilegious if you're a Full Moon fan to say you're bored of Puppet Master, but they're going with the same Nazi storyline that they've been doing for the last few entries, and to be honest, it's kind of weighing on me a little bit. Cheers, James. I'm quite like the poster. Too bad about the movie, though. How do you think we can keep the slasher movies fresh for modern audiences? Change things up. I mean, don't be afraid to go outside the box. I'm just trying to think of a few examples. I'm looking around my room for inspiration. Well, I might say, I mean, I'm looking at my Unfriended poster here. I know that's not a slasher movie per se, but I mean, just play with ideas and see what works. I mean, there's a movie I'm thinking of. I can't remember what it was called, but it's sort of like a mockumentary of this team following around this serial killer and sort of document his kills. And he gets interviewed after a kill. I found that really interesting. Like, so I haven't seen it myself. I've been reading up on it. I wanted to check it out, but yeah, don't be afraid to go a bit crazy. Try something different. That's how I think slasher movie should be good. What I think about The Stalking? I haven't seen The Stalking, Alex. You may have to send me that so I can have a look. Okay, well, I'm not the oldest person here, at least. That makes me feel better. Dream horror crossover. Ooh. This may sound a bit obvious, but I was actually really looking forward to the Halloween rumor. I don't know if how many of you guys were aware of that one. But when Freddy vs. Jason came out, obviously there was all the big talk about what was the next horror clash going to be. And Halloween was probably the biggest one up there, which is obviously the crossover between Halloween and Hellraiser. And a lot of people were thinking, oh, it's a stupid idea, it'll never work, because obviously the two aren't quite as popular as Freddy and Jason, and they couldn't see how the worlds would mesh. I thought it'd be really good, because both deal with like a psychological impact. I mean, Michael's dark psyche would be prime target for the Cenobites, and I thought that'd be really good. And I can just see, I've read a few like ideas of it, and I can just see like Dr. Loomis at the end of his rope trying to get rid of Michael, turning to possibly the Lament configuration to search for a method. I thought that would have been a really good idea. Did you hear about Halloween Returns? Is that the third, the third movie that apparently isn't going to be a Rob Zombie one? I've heard rumors of it. I've heard rumors that it's going to be a remake of Halloween 3 Season of the Witch, which I have mixed thoughts about. How long is this video, Contra? It's 40 minutes so far. It would have been a lot longer if YouTube didn't bust my my Let's Watch. Chucky versus the Leprechaun is a good one as well. I've seen that one thrown around a lot. On the subject of the Leprechaun, actually, have you guys seen the that fake trailer for the Leprechaun versus the Wishmaster? That's one of the best fake trailers I've ever seen. And I think that'd be an interesting crossover as well. Yeah, they have to reboot the Hellraiser. Didn't they already sort of do that with the latest entry in the series? I've forgotten the name of it. Was it Revolution? Something like that? That was fucking awful. The worst horror movie I've ever seen. I'm almost tempted to say Hellbreeder, to be honest, but if I'm to stick with my character, I suppose I'd say Dracula 3000, even though, yeah, that's me sticking with what my character would hate. Stalking the Zane. How would you stump the Wishmaster? That's a good question, Vexpire. I like that one. Yeah, Revelations, Hopeless Romantic. Yeah, it's not Revolution, it's Revelations. Yeah, that movie was fucking atrocious. How would I stump the Wishmaster? I've been thinking about that one, actually. Like, what would I do if I was in his situation? So that's the first thing I'd say. Can I have I basically ask him for a wish that doesn't have any bad repercussions? It's probably a bit of a cop out, but I don't know, when you think about all the ways he can twist your words. I mean, how do you mess with somebody like that? Because I don't know, somebody asked if they could be beautiful, he turned them into a mannequin. Somebody asked if they can get out of jail, he made their lawyer's body twist and start bumping them up the arse. So the guy can mess with anything. Five favorite movies of any genre. Yeah. So what? My favorite movies of 5 genres? Because that may I may have to come back to that one because that may take some thinking. Yeah. No, that's always the way. So Deprejango. Yeah. Because the last 5 entries in Hellraiser were basically just Dimension not wanting to lose the rights. Instead of passing it off to somebody who might, care about the project and put some effort into it. I know I said during the Revelations review that, it seemed like they were thinking a bit more on story. With all the references to, Uncle Frank's... Oh, dear. To Uncle Frank and things like that, but... that movie was rubbish. Is there a scary movie that you'd be interested in watching if Hollywood remakes it? So basically, if there's a remake I would like to see happen, or a remake I think is due. So I'm looking over at my collection now. Let me think. They've done some good jobs. Like I said, I thought the Texas Chainsaw Massacre was a really, really good remake. I think the hate on the Nightmare remake is a little unjustified. The Friday remake is just sort of... a remake that I think is due. Maybe... I might have to come back on that one, actually. I'm going to think about that one as well. I didn't think Unfriended... Unfriended was okay. James Prick, I think Unfriended was an idea that they had, but they didn't polish out very well. Vexbar, which horror villain do you think you can beat? That I can beat up? I'll tell you what I think I can beat up. Something I mentioned in video an awful lot. Those little demons from Puppet Master 4 and 5. Because people were just terrified of them and running away from them. They're half a foot tall. Just walk up to them and kick them and they're screwed. The puppets who are shorter than them were beating them up. So why can't the humans? Do you like new horror movies? Chantel Teal says. Yes, I do love new horror movies. Actually, a couple that I picked up not too long ago. I'll bring this on another one. Found footage movies. I know they get a really bad rep, and it's sort of a stigma when you go to see a found footage movie that's, it's going to be shit. I know this is going to be terrible. And to be honest, that's an appropriate attitude to have, because, yeah, they've been really shit recently. But I've watched some, Unfriended. Yeah, like I said, it was an interesting idea, and I think it was an alright movie. But The Taking of Deborah Logan is another one I saw recently that I thought was really good. And I think that needs a bit more attention. Um, everything from Platinum Dunes is awful. Everything that had Michael Bay I think that's another stereotype. Everything that Michael Bay touches has that stigma to it. It's a bit like when you see an M. Night Shyamalan movie. I got a poster of The Visit on the wall. It's going to carry that stigma to it. The people are going to sort of roll their eyes before they go see it. And again, that's sort of an okay attitude to have. But I think some of them deserve a bit of a sit down and maybe judge for yourself after you've watched it. The Leatherface vs. Jason comic. I haven't read it, Vexpire, but I've been looking for a copy. I know I could just watch it on, read it online, but as a collector, I sort of like owning a physical copy of some of these things. I like having it on display. Like, I got a couple of my horror movie action figures over there, and I know all the movies I know I can download as well, but I just like having them on display. It's just it's sort of a collector's thing. Eli K asks, have I seen Star Wars? Are we talking about episode 7? I have seen it, and I can sort of give it my an impromptu review if you'd be interested in seeing that. Yeah, I did see it. When I was watching it, I thought, we're on the subject of remakes, I was thinking, all I could think of while I was watching it was, is this a remake of New Hope? Because we got all the equivalents here. We got the Han Solo equivalent, who turned out to be Han Solo in the end. We got the R2-D2 equivalent, the Luke Skywalker equivalent, the Darth Vader equivalent, the CGI Emperor Palpatine equivalent, and then Luke Skywalker sort of turned out in. Obviously, I don't want to spoil anything for anyone who hasn't seen it yet, but yeah, it was all right. I mean, that's all I really had to say about it. Really, I mean, it's jumped up to number 1 in the box office now, which kind of doesn't surprise me, to be honest. I mean, with all the hype it was getting. But yeah, it was sort of... The only thing I can think of saying it was okay. It was better than the prequels, I suppose. Take that for what you can get. Have I seen Troll 2? Unfortunately, I haven't seen Troll 2. I think I've seen every review of Troll 2 under the sun without actually having watched the movie myself. But I would really like to review Troll 2. I mean, I know every horror movie and even non-horror movie reviewer has already done it, but I mean, if my fans would be interested in seeing my take on it, I'd be more than happy to do it. It'd probably be one of those special occasion reviews, one of those ones I do for a certain number of subscribers. We'll see how that goes. How long did I know my wife? Or how long you knew your wife, and how many years married? I knew her 7 years before we got married, and we've been married for about 2 years now. So it's been a 9-year relationship. So that makes me feel old. How come Full Moon say that they don't have the rights to all the Pop Monster movies so they can make them on Blu-ray? Good question. I'll tell you what something Full Moon needs to get their thumb out of their asses for and do. Killjoy Psycho Circus. This was a Kickstarter project they had going a while ago about a 5th Killjoy movie. And if anyone has seen the last 2 Killjoy movies, then they know what I'm talking about when I say, this needed to happen. This so needed to happen, and it's a tragedy that it didn't happen. Because I forget his name now. It's Steven something, the guy who plays Killjoy now. I'm going to get onto this when I do the next Killjoy movie review, because that's coming very, very soon. The guy who plays Killjoy, who after the Angel Vargas guy who played him in the first movie, was brilliant in Killjoys 3 and 4. He was such a badass, and his whole clown posse, they were just the best group of Full Moon villains I've seen, and probably became my favorite Full Moon franchise, ignoring the first 2 entries. So when I heard that there was a 3rd one coming, Killjoy Psycho Circus, I was psyched and gutted when it didn't happen. So hopefully they get around to doing it, even though I didn't make its Kickstarter quota, because I would really love to see that happen. How did you come up with the persona of Fedora? To be honest, it's not so much a persona as it is just me, coming out being a little more confident. Because in real life, I'm a bit of a shy person. You probably don't believe that, judging by the way I am in character. But I don't know. It's sort of just I feel a bit more confident just talking to a camera. So probably just me being a little more forward. And I suppose the attire, the hat is obviously a Freddy Krueger thing, and I can probably show you that now. Though we're not on the review. On the subject of hang on, there we go. Freddy Krueger. This hat is actually autographed by Robert Englund himself. I got that done at a con when he came to Australia for Perth Comic Con, and that was one of the highlights of my life. And since I got the full blown experience package, which I paid $400 for, and don't regret a cent of it, I got to meet, in addition to all the photos I got with them, I got to meet him and Ken Kersinger, who obviously played Jason in Freddy vs. Jason. Cheers, Contra. Yeah, I got that done recently. I got to meet him and Ken Kersinger at a bar for a one-on-one with everyone else who got the package. And yeah, Robert's been around the track before. He knows the score, so really got a chance to speak with him because he wanted to obviously tell everyone about his time in Australia, which, fair enough. I mean, I was just psyched beyond belief to meet him at all. But Ken was a bit more down to earth. He just seemed, because mainly he's done a few horror roles, obviously, but nothing as much as Robert has. But Ken's main work focus has always been in stunt work. So by the time Robert had left and most of the other people had left, it was just me, Ken Kersinger, and this one other guy who really wasn't speaking. And me and Ken Kersinger were having a couple of beers and chatting for about 2 hours about his stunt career, his work on Freddy vs. Jason, my work as a bartender. It was it was just amazing. I mean, he was like, because here I was sitting opposite Jason Voorhees, and he just seems like such a down to earth guy, and we just had this amazing 2 hour chat, and that's one of the memories that I'm never gonna forget.